Well, we're here in the Upper Lake Snowmobile Museum, Naubinway, Michigan. We opened October 19th, 2013. Right now we have 80 different brands, 125 different machines, over 135 different displays, and a large amount of snowmobile memorabilia, which would be suits and boots and helmets and pictures and articles. We even have 5 TVs that are showing some real neat things like 1965 race, Huskies, air sleds, and other such things. Our mission statement is to preserve the history of snowmobiling and information of that for the general public.
So hello and welcome to the new, exciting Top of the Lake Snowmobile Museum. I'm John McGurk, a member of the board here at the museum and past president of the Antique Snowmobile Club of America. Kind of thought today I'd like to show you, to kick off coming into the museum, the past and the future of snowmobiling. You could always debate, and the debate will never end, as to what was the original snowmobile, who invented it, and when was it invented. But I think a lot of the snowmobile community does give Carl Ellison credit for developing most of the design and techniques that are used still today on the modern snowmobiles. This is a 1946 Ellison Model D. It has a shift with first, second, and third gear. It raises and lowers the track. It uses a unique, it's an Indian Scout motorcycle motor from 1940. This machine still runs. Looks really like a toboggan, but Mr. Ellison back in the early 20s invented the first, what we would call the modern snowmobile, and patented that in 1927. And these snowmobiles were made up into the 50s. And of course, next to it, you see a more modern snowmobile with improved suspension and handling. This happens to be the official pace sled for the Sioux I-500. So you kind of see the comparison of a machine that'll do maybe 35 miles an hour versus one that'll maybe do 135 miles an hour. So quite a difference in the machines, but a lot of the basic techniques and design parameters are on both machines.
This is a 1956 Tucker Snow Kitten. They only made 210 of these. They were only in production 3 years. The Snow Kitten is only in production 3 years, 210 of them. Tucker still makes grooming equipment today, a lot larger 4-track system. They're made in Bedford, Oregon. They're still grooming snowmobile trails today with them. They're still the Tucker, I call it Tucker Orange. It's kind of a unique little outfit. It really rolls so free. You can just step on it here, look how easy, you know, hardly put anything into it. It just rolls, all those bearings on it. I'll push it back.
Okay, another unique snowmobile here in the museum is this 1971 Big Boss. This is a Michigan-made snowmobile. It was made at Ovid, Michigan back in 1970 and 71. And the research shows that the company actually made about 20 snowmobiles, but they only sold 8 of them. So we don't know where the rest went. We think they were all sent to the junkyard at one time, but there are 6 of these that have been identified around the country. It uses a CCW motor. It's a very nice running machine, a nice looking machine. You'll see here that there's some literature for the Big Boss, and the picture in the literature does not look anything at all like the snowmobile. Well, in fact, what the company had originally planned to do was to go to Canada and buy another snowmobile and rebrand it as a Big Boss. And later, you might see here in the museum an Alaska ski, and that Alaska ski is the snowmobile that was going to be used with a different paint scheme as a Big Boss. This is, like I say, in 1971.
This here is what's called the Budweiser drag sled. Everybody, the manufacturers wanted to have the fastest sled, so they made drag sleds. This is Budweiser's version. It's got the big block Chevy engine. In 1990, this held the record at 201 mile an hour on a quarter-mile drag sled. It's got a parachute. It's got nitrous. It's got everything to go fast for a quarter mile. Very cool to have here. It's gets lots of kids like to sit in it. The Warning family owns it, and they told us that if we're here with it, that we can actually let kids sit in it as long as we're here with them. Kind of cool. I jumped in it. It's hard to get in and out of.
Another kind of unique snowmobile here in the museum is this 1971 Phantom that was made by the Williamsburg Bronze Corporation in West Virginia. They made these machines back in 1970 and 71. They were a short-run machine. We don't really know the total production numbers on them, but they were a beautiful machine with their metal flake hoods and belly pans. They were unique in the fact that their hoods opened to the side instead of to the front. And the machine was a short-lived production run, only 1970 and 71. There are a few of these around the countryside. There are some, but they are fairly scarce.
Okay, here we have a 1967 Scatmobile. It was made in Grand Rapids, Michigan. As you can see, it came with a wheel kit or the skis. It had 3 big balloon tires for a drive on it, and the other option was just in the sand with the 3 tires, or it came with a track conversion kit. You put a track on it for deeper snow. And we'd like to brag about the ones that are made in Michigan, and it's called Scatmobile. It's a cool looking, different looking snowmobile.
Another machine that we're quite excited to have here in the museum is the 7th annual VSCA Magazine's National Championship winner, which is a 1974 Rolleiflex WOW one, which has been very graciously consigned to the museum here by Greg Kowalski of Holland, Michigan. Truly a beautiful machine. He's done a great job on it. We're quite proud to have it here in the museum. It was featured on the cover of the Vintage Snowmobile magazine after the national show. We're quite proud to have Greg share this machine with us here in the museum.
This is a 1964 Trailmaker made in Hibbing, Minnesota, and the one we have here this year now has the snowplow attachment. It's got a wheel attachment. It also has a brake attachment, but coolest of all is this ice auger attachment. So you get out to your favorite fishing spot. All you do, this is the way it's running, you take it out there, you drove out there, you plop this up. There's a deal here that you would, this bolt should be put in here so you can put tension on it. I'm just gonna leave it down like that. Then you put the belt on it, put the right twist in it so it turns the right way. Put the twist in the wrong way and it'll turn the wrong way. Put the transmission in neutral, motor's running, auger's turning. All you gotta do is put down pressure on it and it turns it. And if you get it stuck in the ice, you can flip this belt around the other way and it'll back it out. Kind of cool. Seen it work, it drills holes really good. All you gotta have is down pressure.
A fairly new addition to the museum here is a 1967 McCulloch. Now, you look at it and you'd say, gee, that looks like a Fox Track. Well, it basically is. It was made under license from Fox Track by S.E. Woods up in Ontario, Canada. They were made in basically 66 and 1967. They had 10 horse motors and later a 15.5 horse motor. They were only made for about a year and a half. They're a very simple machine, and again, except for the color, they're very, very close to being exactly the same machine as an early Fox Track.
This is the 1964 Ellis-Chalmers, and you can see it's Ellis-Chalmers orange. Ellis-Chalmers thought they'd get into the snowmobile recreational utility vehicles. In '64, they built 3 machines. This is the only one left. They built 2 with a 4-cycle Lloyd engine. This is one of the 2. The other one, the guy that owns this one has, but all that's left to is the motor. And they also built one with a 2-cycle Lloyd engine, and the old guy said it hardly had enough power to pull itself. It's made so heavy duty. This here piece here from here down is a tractor fender. From here down is a tractor fender they added in the middle, and they were Ellis-Chalmers tractors off a D15 Ellis-Chalmers. Ellis-Chalmers also built a big utility vehicle for the military in the 30s or 40s, I can't remember the exact date, but a big tractor type track vehicle that Ellis Chalmers also built, but only 3 of the smaller ones like this were built. It's very heavy duty. This one, Doug owns it, over by Crystal Falls. He was going to restore it, but some of the guys in the antique club, you know, talked him out of it. It's too good to restore, to leave it like it is original. He wanted to know if we'd put it in the museum this way, and we said sure. So he also actually drove that into the museum about 3 years ago.
Here at the museum is this 1967 Standaback. Mr. Ken Standaback of Grand Rapids, Michigan, researched, patents, designed and built 2 unique, one-of-a-kind snowmobiles back in 1967. This is the only one that exists today. It's a twin track. As you can see, it has no skis. It has 2 brakes and 2 clutches on the front axle, and you can turn it in its own length. It turns like an old bulldozer or Caterpillar would turn. It'll do about 35, 40 miles an hour. It has no brake. You have to plan well ahead of where you're going to stop so that you don't run into somebody. And it's just a fun machine to get in and ride around with.
This new location for our museum is on US 2 in downtown Naubinway. We have a nice gift shop with lots of interesting items. We have a large meeting room that we will let out to people for a fee. We can even cater in. We have a very large parking lot that can accommodate buses and multi-unit vehicles, trailers and such. So in the museum itself, we have 80 different brands, 125 different machines, along with some 5 TVs that show some very neat things, and a lot of memorabilia, including suits, helmets, boots, and a lot of other published information. We're open every day of the year. We're open from 9 to 5. We're open every day.